As we enter into the world of neuroscience, understanding the biological and neurological underpinnings of low self-esteem and I am not good enough, we are discovering through the research that there are neurological reasons why we feel that way. In fact, a McGill University study on brain imaging discusses how the left alone brain, the brain at rest, when it is not cooking or distracted by working or gardening or sports or learning, the brain at rest has a natural inclination to criticize itself. Think about that. When you lie in bed at night and review your day, do you think about all the successes? You may do that for a moment or two, but really we think and we focus upon the mistakes I made. Oh, what did I do? What did I say? Oh my gosh, how foolish I was. Why is that? Why do we focus more on the negatives that we did that day than on the positives? The positives are fleeting moments, moment in time where I did something right. And that stays with us for a few moments, half an hour. But the negative things that happened are replayed in our brain over and over and over again. They live with us, they stay with us, and they're implanted in our brain. And we have a visceral feeling of negativity much stronger than the joy we have at having a happy moment. So the negative moments are much more painful, much more intense than the intensity of the happy moments. And they stay with us because we review them and say, oh. So human beings naturally have a negativity bias. We move toward the negative in our lives. Why is that? In the evolutionary process of man's development, when we were in the caves and we heard a noise outside, a dinosaur roaring outside, we had prepared a big rock with a plank next to it. And if we heard the dinosaur coming closer, we would run to the mouth of the cave, move the tool by moving the rock with an implement, a plank, to cover the mouth of the cave to protect ourselves. When we heard something potentially dangerous outside, we went into an automatic fight or flight mode to move to protect ourselves by moving the rock into position to protect the mouth of the cave and to protect our family. This makes sense because according to Abraham Maslow, in the hierarchy of needs, physiological needs and personal safety are number one. Above that are emotional needs. Above that are self-esteem and self-actualization. But the physical safety of the individual is paramount. And therefore we are hardwired to protect ourselves. And therefore, when we hear a noise outside, let's say you and I are sitting here right now, and we hear a noise outside, what's that? Was that a gunshot? No, that was just a car backfiring. Or what was that noise outside? Oh, it was just the wind. Or at home at night, and we hear the house creaking. We go, what was that? Oh, that was just the wind. Got it. We have an automatic negativity bias. Why? Because we're hardwired to protect ourselves. Because we think something bad might be happening, and we must protect our physical space, our physical sense of self. So the neurological brain studies which are being done now are confirming what we intuitively know through the sociological research. And that is that man has a negativity bias, and that has antecedents and precedent in the neurobiology of the human being. That we turn to negativity because we have to say, what is that? I need to protect myself. I need to survive. And therefore we do that also psychologically. We think that if someone's about to attack me or someone says something negative, I look at it negatively instead of positively because I have to protect myself, whether it's physically or socially or psychologically or emotionally. So I tend to look at things negatively, and therefore I turn to myself and look at myself negatively. I've learned a system of self-criticism, and the brain at rest reviews, it scans the area to make sure that there are no threats. And therefore I have a natural inclination toward negativity and to protect myself from possible dangers. So we have to learn to develop a positivity response to the negativity bias. This requires inner strength, inner emotional stamina, and techniques of how to cognitively, emotionally, and physically respond to the negativity bias. Let's begin with a cognitive response, a cognitive technique. We love to discount compliments. I love your dress. Oh, this old thing? Nothing. You did a really good job. Oh, not really. A 10-year-old could have done it. Why do we do that? We discount the good, we discount compliments about ourselves, and we emphasize the negative because we have to prepare ourselves for a possible attack. And therefore, things are not good, and I have to be in a constant state of awareness to protect myself for potential danger. I can't allow myself to be happy. I can't allow myself to be positive about myself, because then I may let my guard down and may feel like, oh, I'm lulling myself into a false sense of safety and security where I might be open to danger. And therefore, I can't allow myself in a sociological way or an emotional way to be happy with myself or positive, because then I'm going to let my guard down. So let's try an exercise to counteract that discounting of compliments. Let's try this exercise. If a friend said to you, I like chocolate, could you say to that person, I can't allow you to like chocolate? Not allowed. If a person says to you, I like my peer group, can you say back to that person, I can't allow you to like your peer group? If someone says, I like my job, I can't allow you to like your job. Is it appropriate to say that to somebody else, not allowing them to feel what they feel or think what they think or to do what they do? It's inappropriate. So then why is it appropriate for ourselves to do that for ourselves and not allow ourselves to receive a compliment or to feel positive about ourselves? So you have to be aware that when we discount compliments that are given to us, we are not allowing ourselves to feel positive because of the negativity bias. Therefore, bring to consciousness, bring to the cognitive and awareness that I'm going to proactively accept compliments. I like chocolate. I accept that. I like my peer group. I like my friends. I accept that. I like my job. I enjoy the challenge. I accept that. Or what about compliments? You did a good job. Thank you. I accept the compliment. I like your dress. I accept that. Thank you. I think you did a good job. Thank you. And you say to yourself, yes, I did do a good job. I like your dress. Thank you. And say to yourself, I like my dress too. I think you're a good person. Thank you. I think I'm a good person too. I have good values, good character traits. I do good things. I like myself too. So this begins the process of reversing the negativity bias, reversing the cognitive block of not accepting compliments and of not being positive with myself by counteracting it. This is a cognitive approach. Breathe in, relax, do our progressive muscle relaxation. Go to your state of being, your soul state. Go to the blue garden, the yellow garden, the purple garden. Go to your beautiful place. Put your hand on your heart. And through the warmth on the heat of your hand on your body, transform that into compassion. So give compassion to the inner self, which naturally feels bad about itself, at rest feels negative or is protective or is fearful of attacks against itself. And learn self-compassion. Be warm and loving toward your inner self, just as we did with the inner child experience by going back in time with our babushka doll, where it gave love to the inner child, so to do it in the present with your hand and give yourself the physical compassion, love, and positivity and warmth to heal that self-blame, that self-criticism, that negativity. We've tried a cognitive approach. We've tried an emotional response. Let's try a physical response. Let's talk about physical perfection. Think about writing the perfect essay. Can you write the perfect essay? Can you write the perfect poem? Can you write the perfect financial report? Can you come up with the perfect sentence? Can you arrange your house perfectly? Can you make the perfect spaghetti? Do you see how absurd this sounds? That we have to be perfect? Do we ever talk in those terms or think in those terms that the things I do must be perfect? Then if that's the case, why do I have to be perfect? It sounds so absurd to say, I'm going to make the perfect meal. I'm going to have the perfect relationship. It sounds absurd. We don't apply that to other things or other people or other items. Why do we apply that to ourselves? So here is the physical exercise. Let's go to the other extreme and let's do things and act out in ways which are not perfect. For example, so let's be not perfect. Let's be unperfect. Tomorrow morning, I want you to take off the linens off your bed and do not make your bed and let it sit there unmade. I want you to put on mismatched socks. When you begin to allow yourself to be imperfect, you're going to retrain the body, which retrains the emotions and the mind that it's okay to be imperfect. What's going to happen if you're imperfect? Nothing. You'll be fine. So therefore, you can rewire the body, rewire the emotions, rewire the mind, that it's okay to be imperfect.